Alright, for today's crafty magic, we're going to be making some awesome mana symbol rubber stamps. So I've got here the swamp, and that's what it looks like when it's printed. This is a lot of fun to do, and once you have this made, you can use it to print a ton of different things, and you don't have to figure out how to reduplicate. So when you're doing a lot of printing, it makes it a lot easier, and it's really actually a lot of fun to make these. So the supplies you'll need are this rubber. It's basically kind of like eraser rubber, but it's pink, and the brand I use is Speedball. But there's a couple different ones. You just need something that's really easy to carve into, and it lasts for quite a while. I've had this piece and I've done multiple different stamps on it, so it's pretty awesome. So you need that rubber. You'll also need something to carve with. I bought a set that has a handle with interchangeable nibs. So this one's, I guess, a 2 and this one's a 4, but I just bought the basic set and I haven't need to buy any more, and they work great. So these just make it a little easier. Occasionally for the really tiny pieces I use an X-Acto knife, so that it just helps for those really small areas where I don't have small enough top things to make it good, but mostly these work really well. Like I said, only for the small areas do I use those. I also have my mana symbols that I have printed off onto regular paper, just so I can have a reference as to what I'm doing. I have washable markers, an assortment of different colors just for testing and making sure making sure as you go that it tests all right. And I also have a pencil, not a pen. This is not an interchangeable instance of pens and pencil. It has to be a pencil, otherwise it will not work for this. So that's what you need, and let's get started and I'll tell you how exactly to do this. Alright, so this part is really easy. The rubber is really susceptible to pencil shavings and transferring, so all you have to do is just go around and trace the outside of the mana symbol in pencil, and then we'll press it up onto the rubber, and it will take that image that we've drawn, and that makes it a lot easier to carve your mana symbol. So yeah, all you have to do is trace, make sure like if it's on the inside, you trace that so you know where that should be. With this one, so all we do is take it, put it on, make sure it's on the rubber, and just rub it a little bit. And this is why you can't use a pen, because otherwise it just won't work very well. And even a pencil, you have to make sure you get a good amount of lead off onto the paper, otherwise it's not going to work. Like apparently I didn't. So you can kind of see the faint outline, and you can go back over and carefully just trace where that is, like that. And it works better if you do it on this side, so that way when you print it, it'll look like that instead of the reverse. So if you want it to look like this, trace around this side. If you want it to be the reverse, then you have to go trace around the back side. But this will make it look like that, which is what I was wanting. So like I said, you just trace around here. Bing, bada, boom. Awesome. Now, you just grab your tool handle, and probably the smallest one you have, and just start carving out where you don't want. You can also, I find it easier to take a pair of scissors and just get a huge chunk of, just get to the area I want. So it just makes it easier. Awesome. So I have my tiny little blue mana symbol thing going. So if you're a big fan of the blue mage, you're in luck, because this are a lot easier than some of the other ones. The swamp wasn't too bad, and I don't think the plains, or I don't think any of them will be too bad. It's just this is going to be the easiest one to do. So basically I just go around the outside and carve quite a bit of that out of the way. You have to be really careful with this stuff because this rubber is not forgiving. So make sure you're paying attention and focused on it. Otherwise, it's going to, you're going to have a dent or a nick or something in it, and it's not going to look as good as if you weren't. So just make sure and pay attention to where you're carving and you don't accidentally mess up. Also, this is kind of sort of a little bit messy. It creates a lot of shavings, so make sure you are in a place where you don't mind getting it dirty, but make sure it's just, you're going to be able to find all your small pieces laterwards and get those cleaned up because, yeah, it generates a lot of small pieces, especially if you're going to do some of the more detailed mana symbols. Like that mountain will probably get a lot more on it. But since I'm doing this, it should be not as bad. Alright. So I've got most of the outside done, and probably just cut these guys off because I don't need them. Just very careful when you're working with this stuff. Like I said, it is not forgiving. Shoot down a little more. Alright, so and then to do this inside part, I kind of sort of just partly cut it and then go at it from an angle, and it usually pops the piece right off, but be very, very careful at this part. This is going to be where you have the most difficulty. Yeah. Alright, so then what you do to test and see how well this works is you use one of your awesome washable markers. So I've got blue because we're working with the blue mana. So then you just cover your stamp in blue marker. And then you just press it down on your paper. And voila. You've got your blue mana symbol. So you see kind of here, I might want to go back and fix that a little just to make it look a little bit cleaner. But once you've got the majority of this done, it's pretty easy just to work with and keep testing it and seeing what you're at and what you want to change about it. So it's really pretty simple once you've gotten to this part. And yeah, you get these really cool stamps and you can use them for lots of different things. And I will be doing craft next week with these, so hopefully I can get the other ones finished and it's gonna be awesome. So let me know what you think of this craft in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe for more.